of India, conservation at international level is coordinated by IUCN or by World Conservation Union. IUCN stands for International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. The headquarters of this organization is located at Gland in Switzerland. Now, based on the protection needed, different species are classified into different categories. Let us look at what are endangered species. Species that will become extinct in near future are known as endangered species. That means there is a high probability that if conservation measures are not taken at present, these might not be present in the near future. Now, why a species becomes extinct? There are two main reasons for that. First is loss of habitat, and second is inability of the species to adjust to changing environment, which is mainly due to lack of genetic variation. Let us first discuss loss of habitat. Habitat loss can occur due to natural phenomenon like flood, landslide. A very good example is extinction of dinosaurs. In Cretaceous period, the climate of Earth was hot and dry. It is believed that an asteroid struck the Earth, which forced debris into its atmosphere. This debris reduced the amount of heat and light reaching the Earth's surface. Subsequently, the climate of the Earth became cooler. Since dinosaurs were not able to adjust to these cooler climates, they became extinct. Habitat loss can also occur due to human activities. Any development project then for housing, for industry, and also clearing of land, forests, grasslands for agriculture reduces the habitat of native organisms. For example, consider hornbill. In the previous lecture, we have seen a bird known as hornbill. This bird nests in large trees and tall trees like ficus. If such trees are cut down, it will subsequently affect hornbill population in a given forest. That is, it will reduce the hornbill population. Therefore, human activities are also responsible for habitat loss, also overhunting of a particular species, which lead to its extinction. Then the second reason is lack of genetic variation. Absence of genetic variation occurs because of inbreeding. What is inbreeding? When a population of a particular species is confined to a particular area only, and if it is a single surviving population, the individuals will breed with each other. That is known as inbreeding. And subsequently, there is loss of genetic variation. That means the diversity of genes is reduced. So that might lead to the extinction of a species. For example, consider Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion, there's a single population in India confined to Gir National Park. So the major threat this species face is of extinction due to inbreeding. Then let us look at the endangered animal species of India. The first is Asiatic lion. On the left side, you can see this is Asiatic lion. And there are two species of lion, African lion and Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion is smaller in size than African lion, and it has a longitudinal fold of skin running along its belly. It is threatened by poaching, habitat fragmentation, and genetic inbreeding because there is only a single population at one place, or which is confined to a single place. Local communities have local community, that is Maldharis. They have contributed in their conservation. And the second endangered animal is the greater one-horned rhinoceros or the Indian rhino. It is found in the state of Assam, that is in the Kaziranga National Park, Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park, Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, and Manas National Park. So this rhino is grey in color and it has a single horn on the head. That is why it is known as one horn rhinoceros. It prefers to live in grasslands, and for its conservation, Project Rhino was launched by Government of India in 2005. Threat to this species is mainly poaching because it is believed that the horn of this animal has medicinal properties and because of which it is threatened. It is mainly killed by people for its thorn. Then the next endangered animal is Ganges river dolphin. You can see here, this is Ganges river dolphin. Ganges river dolphin is found in river Ganga and its tributaries. So they are found in waters, river waters of the states of Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir, and West Bengal. So river dolphin, but this dolphin is blind. It cannot see. It uses ultrasonic sound to locate its prey. Okay, for feeding purpose, it uses echolocation or the ultrasonic sound in order to locate its prey. It prefers to live in deep waters and feeds on fish and small invertebrates that are found in the water. The major threat to this dolphin is habitat fragmentation. The various dams that are built on the rivers are responsible for the fragmentation of its habitat, that is river. And that is the main threat to this animal. And the fourth species is red panda. Red panda, it is the state animal of Sikkim. It is an arboreal mammal. Arboreal means it lives on the trees. In two national parks, that is Singalila and Neora Valley National Park. Both of these are located in West Bengal. You can find red panda. Now, since this animal is arboreal, it lives on trees. Destruction of its nesting and bamboo trees is responsible for its extinction. So these are some of the endangered animal species of India. Ganges river dolphin is also threatened, or its population is decreasing because of pollution of the river water body. Okay? Pollution of the river water is responsible for their dwindling population. Red panda is an animal which is part of eastern Himalayas. We have discussed this biogeographic zone. Then Asiatic lion falls in semi-arid zone. Rhino is also part of eastern Himalayas. That is the northeast biogeographic zone. Not eastern Himalayas, northeast biogeographic zone. Let us now look at endangered plant species. The first one that is on the left is Eboni tree. Its scientific name is Diospros celebica. This tree is found in Karnataka only, and there is a great demand for its timber because there is a characteristic striped pattern of its wood. Brown and black striped wood can be obtained from this tree, which is used in preparation of high quality furniture. Therefore, it is one of the endangered species. There is declining population due to its great demand for timber. It is cut down. Then the next tree here, plant species, is red sandalwood. In common language, we call it as Raktachandan. Again, this tree is found in Andhra Pradesh. That is, it is part of Eastern Ghats. The sandalwood has medicinal properties because it is believed to be having anti-inflammatory properties. Also, it is used as timber. So, these are the few endangered plants of India. So, what are endangered species? The species that will become extinct in near future are known as endangered species. Why a species becomes extinct? Mainly because of two reasons: habitat loss and lack of genetic variation. Habitat loss can occur naturally. That is, example of it is extinction of dinosaurs and due to human activities, that is deforestation and overhunting. Naturally, we have the naturally one of the example we have discussed, that is extinction of dinosaurs. That during the Cretaceous period, the climate of the Earth was hot and dry, and it is believed that an asteroid hit the Earth, because of which debris was forced into the atmosphere. That reduced the amount of light and heat reaching the Earth's surface. So the climate subsequently became cooler, which was unsuitable for dinosaurs, or they were unable to adjust to that climate, cooler climate, and that lead to their extinction. Then human activities like deforestation for developmental projects, for housing, for industries, even for agriculture. If the forests are cleared, the native habitat of the organism is destroyed. Then overhunting of a species. Second reason why a species becomes extinct is lack of genetic variation. We have seen why the decrease in genetic diversity is mainly because of genetic inbreeding. Okay, the breeding between the individuals of a single population of a particular species. There is loss of genetic variation, so the species become extinct in near future. See, if genetic variation is not there, species will not be able to adjust to the surrounding environment, because environment constantly changes. It is a dynamic entity. And you know that nowadays climate change is a big concern. So if species do not have genetic diversity, they will not be able to adjust to the surrounding climate. And that is why they will become extinct. Then we have discussed the endangered animal species of India. We have discussed Asiatic lion. It is found in the Gir National Park. It is smaller than the African lion. There is a longitudinal fold of skin along its belly, and the main threat to this species is habitat fragmentation, poaching, and genetic inbreeding. Then the second species we have discussed was one-horned rhinoceros. That is greater one-horned rhinoceros, or the Indian rhino. It is found in the state of Assam in 4 protected areas. The main threat to this species is poaching. Okay, the horn of this animal is believed to have medicinal properties. And there is a project by government of India, that is Project Rhino, for its conservation. Then we have discussed the Ganges River dolphin. It prefers to live in deep waters. And also remember that Ganges River dolphin is an indicator of the health of freshwater ecosystem. Okay, it avoids to live in polluted water. It feeds on invertebrates and the fish that is found in the water body, and it is blind. It uses ultrasonic sound to locate its prey. Project Dolphin was also launched by government, or announced by the government of India in 2020. Then we have discussed red panda. Red panda is state animal of Sikkim. It is an arboreal mammal that is prefers to live on trees. And in West Bengal, there are 2 areas. two protected areas, Mura Valley National Park and Singalila National Park, where this animal can be found. Destruction of its nesting trees and bamboo trees are responsible for its reducing population. Then we have looked at endangered plant species. The first was the Eboni tree or Diospros cellulica. This is found in Karnataka. This tree is valued for its timber. The timber of the wood of this tree has a characteristic brown and black stripe pattern. So a high quality furniture is prepared from this tree. Then we have discussed about the red sandalwood. It has medicinal properties and found in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Also, it is valued for its timber. Now let us look at endemic species of India. Endemic species are those which are confined to a particular region or they can be found only in that region, or we can say they are indigenous in certain regions. This concept was introduced by A.B. Campbell initially, and over the years, it has been widely studied. Now, let us first look at what is the meaning of relic endemics. Relic endemics are those species which once had an extensive range than today, and there are few survivors of the former species. So, so these are known as relic endemics. So the species which once had extensive range than today, and the few survivors of that species that are left are known as relic endemics. Then microendemics. Organisms that evolve from other organisms or other species in the same area are known as microendemics. Then neoendemics. In a particular region, changing ecological conditions creates an environment for evolution of a particular species in that region or habitat. Such species are known as neoendemics. Then endemism, this phenomenon is high in older land masses and also in islands. Now, why endemism is observed? Why there is isolation of species from the rest of the world? Why it is confined to a particular region only and does not have a pan distribution? First is geographical barriers. Geographical barriers like mountains and seas, they have prevented the dispersal of species. And isolation from the mainland. This is in terms of islands. Why islands are highly endemic? Because they are separated from the mainland. Now, the endemism in Indian subcontinent is about 30%. It is very high. That is why India is one of the biodiversity hotspots. There are regions which are known as biodiversity hotspots. The endemism is very high. Endemism of species is very high. Now, in India, there are three regions which show high endemism. The first is the Himalayan and the Trans-Himalayan biogeographic zone. This we have discussed. The Trans-Himalayan biogeographic zone includes the part of Ladakh, and the Himalayan biogeographic zone, it includes Western Himalayas and Eastern Himalayas. Western Himalayas, they include parts of Kashmir and Uttarakhand, and the Eastern Himalayas, parts of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. So these regions, they are highly endemic. First biogeographic zone. Second biogeographic zone where there is high endemism is Western Ghats. About two-thirds of the higher plant species are endemic here. Okay? The total plant species that are found in the country, out of that, two-thirds are endemic. Then Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So we have written here, this is written here that isolation from the mainland is the major reason why islands are endemic. So Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we have seen in the map that they are separated from the mainland by a great distance. And that is why they are highly endemic in terms of species. Let us now look at some of the endemic animals of India. The first one you already know, we have discussed this animal in the last lecture. This is lion-tailed macaque. Lion-tailed macaque is found in the southern part of the Western Ghats. It prefers to live in dense forest. Rarely this animal is observed because it is found deep in the forest. And it is an arboreal animal. It's a black colored one. The tail, at the end of the tail, one finds a tuft of hair. That is why the name is lion-tailed macaque. Then the next animal here is the Indian giant squirrel, Rathufa indica. It's a beautiful squirrel. The red color coat, the color of its coat deepens as one moves towards the southern part of Western Ghat. Okay, so in the northern part, the coat color is somewhat brown, and as one moves towards the southern part of the Western Ghats, the color becomes red. A beautiful animal. It is a omnivorous squirrel. That is, it feeds on fruits and flowers, and also some of the insects. They construct nests on the trees. Then the next animal, that is this bird, is Narcodum hornbill. Narcodum hornbill, you can clearly see the differentiation. The entire black color is the female, and in case of male, there is rufous or red colored head and neck. It also feeds on fruits and also consumes small reptiles. Let us look at the endemic plants. The first picture here is of Drosera indica. It's commonly known as sundew. It is a very tiny plant if you happen to observe it. It is insectivorous. You can see the color of the petal. It is somewhat purple. It is one of the smallest flowering plants. Then the next plant, which is endemic, is Fredia indica. Commonly it is known as Shiv Suman. This plant is found in Western Ghats. You can look the beautiful crimson to cherry colored petals. The leaves are somewhat oblong. Okay, you can see here the leaves of this plant, they are oblong. It is found in Western Ghats and Deccan Plateau also. So let us revise endemic species of India. Endemic species of India, endemic species are those which are confined to a particular region, or they are indigenous in certain region. This concept was introduced by A.D. Candoll. Then we have discussed what are relic endemics, micro endemics, and new endemics. Relic endemics are those species which once had extensive range and their survivors today are known as relic endemics. Then we have discussed what are microendemics. Organisms that evolve from other plants or other species in a given area, these are known as microendemics. Then we have discussed what are neoendemics. The changing ecological condition creates an environment that is suitable for evolution of a species. So the new species that are seen are known as neoendemics. Now endemism is higher in older land masses. And why endemism is observed? First reason is that the isolation from the mainland. That is, In the islands, the endemism is high. Then geographical barriers like mountains and seas have led to the confinement of species in a particular region. And in India, the endemism is about 30%. And where or the which regions of India show high endemism? There are three regions: the Himalayan and the Trans Himalayan region, then Western Ghats, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Then we have discussed the endemic animals of India. The first one was lion-tailed macaque. It is an endemic animal found in the southern part of the Western Ghat. Then we have discussed the Indian giant squirrel. This squirrel lives on the trees and constructs nests on the trees. It is an omnivorous squirrel. It feeds on the fruits and flowers. And the color of this animal deepens as one moves from the northern part of the Western Ghat to the southern part. Then we have discussed the Narcodon hornbill. So the mate has a rufous neck and head, and the female is completely black. Again, it feeds on fruits and reptiles. Then we have seen the endemic plants. First was Drosera indica, purple petals. It is the smallest flowering plant. It is insectivorous plant. Then we have seen Fredia indica or the Shiv Suman, which is found in the Western Ghats and the Deccan Plateau. You can see the beautiful crimson red color, crimson to cherry color petals, and the leaves of this plant, they are oblong. Then the next topic is India as a mega biodiverse region. Now there are 12 countries in the world which are known as mega biodiversity countries. 70% of the world's biodiversity is found in these countries. Okay, so can you imagine how much of species diversity will be there in these countries? 7 to 8% of the world's biodiversity is found in India. Indian flora and fauna, it shows affinity with Malaya, China, Tibet, Japan, and Europe, Australia, Africa. So roughly it is said that about 7.6% of mammals are present in India. Then birds about 12.6%, reptiles 6.2%, amphibians 4.4%, fish 11.7%. Total plants found in India are about 45,500 in number. That means they are documented. And total animals that are found in India are about 91,000. This is approximate percentage of endemic species in different groups. Okay? Reptiles, you understand, snakes and lizards, tortoise, they all come under the reptiles. So how many endemic reptiles are there? About 45.8%. Then amphibians. Amphibians are animals that are capable of living on land as well as in water. So frog is an example of amphibian. 55.8% amphibians are endemic. Then mammals, about 12%. Birds, 4.5%. Plants, 33%. So this is the approximate percentage of endemics present in India. Therefore, it is one of those 12 mega biodiversity countries. So in today's lecture, we have discussed endangered species of India. You should remember the definition of endangered species. Then why a species becomes extinct. We have discussed this, that it is due to habitat loss, which might occur naturally and due to human activities also. Then second is lack of genetic variation. In naturally, we have taken the example of dinosaurs, and here in lack of genetic variation, we have discussed about Asiatic lion. Then we have seen the endangered animal species of India. Few examples. Okay, there are many, but we have taken only four examples. So the first one is the Asiatic lion, then greater one-horned rhinoceros, Ganges river dolphin, and red panda. You should remember threats to these animals. Okay? Threats to Asiatic lion is poaching, habitat fragmentation, and also genetic inbreeding. Greater one-horned rhinoceros is poaching for its horn. Then red panda, destruction of its habitat, that is trees. Then for Ganges river dolphin, mostly habitat fragmentation due to building of dams on the rivers, and also pollution, river pollution. Then we have discussed endangered plant species, Brassica indica and Freria indica. No, Drosera indica is the next one. This is Eboni tree. Sorry for that. Endangered plants are Eboni tree and the red sandalwood. Then endemic species. Endemic species, again, the definition is important. Remember the definition. They are confined to a particular region. You should remember what are relic endemics, microendemics, neoendemics, and why endemism is observed due to geographical barriers, that is like mountains and seas, isolation from mainland. This is the reason for endemism observed in the islands. Yes, then we have discussed the endemic animals, lion-tailed macaque, narcodon hornbill, and the giant squirrel, Indian giant squirrel. Yes, this is Drosera indica, which is the smallest flowering plant. It is an insectivorous plant. And we have discussed the next plant, which is endemic to India, which is Freria indica, found in Western Ghats and Deccan Plateau, that is Shiv Suman. Then we have discussed why India is a mega biodiverse region. There is high endemism, a greater Biodiversity is about 7 to 8% of the world's biodiversity across various groups. Then 12 there are 12 mega biodiverse countries, and India is one of them. These countries, 12 mega biodiverse countries, they host 70% of the world's biodiversity. This is the approximate percentage of endemics found in India. The highest percentage is for amphibians, then mammals, then birds, plants. Plants are 33%, reptiles are 45. So reptiles, amphibians, and plants, they are highly endemic species in these groups are found in India. And total plants are present or documented are 45,500. Total animals that are documented are 91,000. One should remember these numbers.